Hola everyone, this is Zucchini. I'm gonna do a really quick video and I'm gonna tell you how to become a doula. This is a question I get a lot from women when I tell them that I do doula work now. I will link the video to this video where I tell what is the difference between a doula and a midwife, because I get that too. People think they're the same thing and they are not the same thing. Huge pet peeve when people tell me that. I'm like, no, please don't think that, because they are not the same thing. So yeah, how do you become a doula? So initially I would want to ensure that you really want to become a doula, and I like to use the term birth sister over doula because doula means slave in Greek. So why would you want to become a birth sister? Why would you want to assist women in labor? Like, who does that? Crazy people like me who are very passionate about reproductive health and women's health, especially pregnancy and breastfeeding, because those are things that I'm very interested in. I've always been very interested in those topics. And for those of you that have been following me, you know I'm a lactation counselor, and I also teach childbirth classes. So it was kind of a complementary thing. And plus I'm going to midwifery school. I'm in midwifery school now. And so it was kind of a segue. So if you look at my midwifery and doula video, I say that I don't want to become a doula. And I want to become a midwife, but that's still true. I do want to become a midwife. It's kind of like someone who is becoming a pharmacist. You know, they'll do so many hours and so much time and doing an internship. And so for me, being a doula is like my internship, you know, although it's not really an internship. It's my own made up internship, because it is teaching me a lot, and I'm learning a lot about birth and women and just so many different things that I would have normally not learned if I would have skipped this part of being a doula. And I do think that me being a doula is going to help me be a better midwife when that day does come. So how do you become a doula? Like I said, first you want to make sure that you know what you're doing. You know, this is what I want to do. I want to go down this path of assisting women during their pregnancy, during their birth, during postpartum. Now you don't have to do all three. You can do just birth. You can do just labor. You can do just birth. You can do just postpartum. You can do just pregnancy if you so choose. Most doulas like to do all of it, or some doulas like to just do postpartum because it's more predictable. Because of course, when women go into labor, you are on call. So that is another part of the profession that you would have to be able to work with. And so, as far as your personality, you need to be very compassionate. Some of the women that will ask you for your care will be very needy. Because this may be their first baby, or maybe they've had a miscarriage before, and so they really are clinging to you for support because they're looking at you as the subject matter expert. You're the pregnancy expert. You know everything about pregnancy and breastfeeding or whatever. And so they will lean on you for support. And then it is really important for you to kind of forge a professional friendship with your clients, because you want them to trust you. You're going to be there with them in during the most important time of their life. And you want to make sure that they trust you, and you want to make sure that you all are communicating or on the same page. So how do you become a doula? What do you need to do? You really need to just be a compassionate person. There is no license that you need. You can go and get a certificate. Now, as far as certificates and training, I will list the information below for different organizations that you can go to. I personally went with assistant midwife. My other option was ICTC, because they both travel and they were both focused. They were both culturally competent with the women that I want to serve, which are women of African descent. So those two organizations were primary for me because I knew that they were going to really hone in on the specific needs of African American women. And the reason why I wanted to go with those organizations, and I have such a passion for helping African American women is because we have such a high maternal and infant death rate. Not to mention that I'm also a woman of color. I'm also a Black woman. So I know that there's a high need, and so I wanted to make sure that the training I got was culturally competent with the community that I wanted to serve. And so, like I said, I went with system midwife, and I'll put the information on for her, how to get in contact with her. The trainer is named Nicole Daggins. She was amazing, and an awesome trainer. And also ICTC is another African American centered doula training organization. Mama Toto Village also does a perinatal services training, I believe, and it's very similar to doula work. It is doula work. So those are 3 organizations I know for sure are African focused, African American centered. But there are several. DONA is the most popular one. That's the one that they want you to have if you want to work in the hospital. So a lot of people like DONA because it's nationally recognized. I'm trying to think if there are any more. There's several different doula trainings. I'm sure there are a lot of midwifery schools have a doula training component as well. So you can look at some doula trainings. And then also you can look at monitress training, MONITRICE, which is technically the same thing as a doula, but monitress is more of like a midwife's assistant, and so it's like an advanced doula. They know how to set up and break down the oxygen tank, and they know how to do a lot of they know how to do a lot of the same things that the midwives know how to do, as far as like, you know, an assistant type level. On an assistant level, they would be assisting the midwife. So yeah, that is another option that you can have as far as that. So there's so many different things you can do with doula training. I mean, you can do doula work, you can become a childbirth educator, you can get your certification to be a lactation counselor or lactation consultant, which is a higher level, which is a board certification. I'm a lactation counselor. I've done the training to be a childbirth educator. So these are things that I had kind of already done, like I said. So yeah, but it's super easy. And honestly, if you wanted to wake up one day and be like, I'm gonna go help my sister, she's in labor, you'd be being a doula. And so it's not something really crazy and really hard in 3 or 4 years. A lot of people think that it is. It's not. Being a doula is really as a matter of being compassionate. Just like when I started giving spiritual advice and guiding people spiritually, no one taught me how to do that for real. Like, that was something that I kind of it was inside of me. And so I feel like doula work, spirit, that kind of stuff, you know, this kind of work, this kind of charge, this kind of call to action is inside of you. So if you want to be a doula, if you feel like it's something that's deep inside of you, if you want to be a midwife, trust me, talk to a Black midwife. She'd love to have you. We desperately need midwives in our community. Just go for it, man. You can definitely do it. We definitely need midwives. So if you feel like, ooh, I love being a doula, and you feel like there's more, midwifery may be for you. I mean, there's such a high need for midwives, and it's a desperate need in Black communities for midwives. So yeah, when I hear Black women ask me how do I become a doula, I've been meaning to do this video for so long because it's such a need. But yeah, if you have any more questions or any burning concerns about becoming a doula or doula work or any type of birth work, please contact me. I can be reached at heal, H-E-A-L, at chosenwomb.com. I'll also put that information below. And so just shoot me an email if you have questions, and I will do my best to get to you. And so thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you guys on the flip. Thanks.